Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the regular meeting for October 5th, 2015. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Lang.
Here.
Trustee Brady.
Here.
Trustee Krueger.
Present.
Trustee Vogel.
Here.
Trustee Vito.
Here.
Trustee Hein.
Here.
President Argyris.
Here. Entertain a motion to approve the minutes for the regular meeting of September 8th, 2015.
So moved.
Motion by Trustee
Second.
Lang, second by Trustee Krueger. Roll call.
Trustee Lang.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Krueger.
Yes.
Trustee Vogel.
Yes.
Trustee Vito.
Yes.
Trustee Hein.
Yes.
President Argyris.
Yes. Any changes to the agenda?
None this evening.
Thank you. Proclamations, Madam Clerk.
Life-Saving Award is hereby presented to Andrea Rodino and Jacob S. Crandall. On May 23, 2015, at 5:15 p.m., Jacob S. Crandall, 10 years of age, was attending a pool party for his baseball team at the Woodland Creek Apartment Complex pool. Jacob S. Crandall and other members of his baseball team were swimming in the pool when a 4-year-old child somehow managed to get into the pool. As Jacob S. Crandall was in the pool, he noticed that the 4-year-old child was at the bottom of the pool and was unresponsive. Jacob S. Crandall reached down and pulled the child to the surface. At this time, the child's body was limp and he did not appear to be breathing. Jacob S. Crandall carried the child out of the pool and brought him to the pool deck, where he was met by Andrea Rodino. Andrea Rodino had heard some children yelling and saw Jacob S. Crandall carry the child out of the pool. Andrea Rodino observed that the child wasn't breathing and that his face had turned blue. Andrea Rodino immediately began life-saving measures by performing chest compressions on the child, continuing until the child began vomiting out water. Andrea Rodino rolled the child onto his side and aided him in cleaning his airway. The child was then able to breathe and regain consciousness. The Wheeling Fire Department arrived on the scene and transported the child to Northwest Community Hospital. The child has since made a complete recovery from the incident with no complications. Andrea Rodino and Jacob S. Crandall is commended for taking immediate life-saving actions, preventing a tragedy from taking place. Even though Andrea Rodino doesn't reside in Wheeling, she is recognized as being a valuable member of our extended community and an asset to both the Village of Wheeling and the Wheeling Police Department.
Thank you. Also, there's a letter from the family. Is that right?
Yes, the Owens family.
Sure.
May 23rd, 2015 was one of the best and worst days of my life. I think the reasons for it being one of the worst are obvious. For a brief moment in time, I felt the horror and grief a mother feels when she thinks she has lost a child. It is a pain I can only pray I never experience again and would never wish upon anyone. Today, I would like to focus on why that day was also one of the best. I didn't lose a child. Jace is an amazing, active, vibrant, smart, sweet, healthy, adorable little boy who is thriving in his first weeks of kindergarten and dominating on his pitch-to-tee baseball team. While still hesitant in the water, Jace is learning how to swim and getting better and braver every day. He is learning how to read. He is making a lot of new friends. He is driving his big brothers crazy, but also being their best friend and greatest supporter in everything they do. He is starting to tie his own shoes. He is sneaking in candy before dinner. He is doing all the things most 5-year-old little boys do, all because Andrea Rodino and Jacob Crandall were there on May 23rd, 2015. Andrea, we have discussed the moments that have bonded us for life a few times. The few seconds when we were administering CPR, where we made eye contact, and without saying the words, I was pleading with you to save him, and you did. You sang "Staying Alive" to maintain the rhythm of your chest compressions, and that song will forever stop me in my tracks, and I say a little prayer of thanks for all that you have given me. When color started returning to my baby's face and I said he was coming back, only then did you take the moment to realize what had just happened and consider what had almost just happened, but didn't, thanks to your efforts. Andrea, you are my hero and will forever be my sister in motherhood. I love you and thank you for the amazing gift of a second chance. Jacob, what an amazing, courageous, brilliant, and kind young man you are. You embody the true definition of a hero. You stepped in and helped in a situation where most of any age would panic and run the other direction. No 10-year-old child should ever have to be put in the position you were in, but I am forever grateful that you were there that day. I am so excited for what this world has in store for you and for what you have in store for this world. I am positive that you are meant to do great things, and I feel blessed that my family is a part of your story. We love you, the Owens family.
Wow. Jacob? Andrea? Boy, we take life for granted every day, don't we? And it's because of things that we're brought up with and just the amazing people in this world. We always hear so much about the bad, but we always never hear about the good all the time. And I think tonight was a great testimony with Andrea and Jacob, and I'll tell you, awesome. It just, wow. When you have kids of your own, all you can do is say, wow. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. We have another proclamation.
A Muscular Dystrophy Association Award to Wheeling firefighters.
Okay, Rick White, and is there somebody here from MDA? There is, okay. Go ahead. Please speak into the mic.
Hi, my name is Amanda Konopka. I'm the Associate Executive Director of the Chicago Muscular Dystrophy Association. And first, I want to thank the board for allowing the fire department to go out and collect funds for us. Over the last 5 years, the Wheeling Fire Department and Local 3079 has collected nearly $40,000 for the MDA, which is an incredible feat. And all of the money that they raise stays here local to help families that we serve. Some of that money goes to things like research, the clinics that we provide cost-free. We have 4 of them here in the Chicagoland area, support groups, and then most of all, summer camp. That provides a week of limitless activities for a lot of kids who have many limitations. So we thank the board for your support, and we of course thank the fire department for going out and collecting for us, as well as the local and the chief for his support as well. So on behalf of the MDA, I'd like to present you guys with a plaque for your efforts for 2015. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Chief, and the whole department. We saw them out there. We're working hard. Thank you again. Citizens' concerns and comments.
Members of the general public may address the board with concerns or comments regarding relevant issues. The person submitting a petition, concern, or other comment shall be allotted 5 minutes to present their points and to state their name and address into the record. Mrs. Schultz?
Sheila Schultz, 393 Meadowbrook Lane, Wheeling, Illinois. President Argyris, trustees, and staff. I'm here to thank you all for the letter and the supporting materials on flooding that I received in mid-September. Residents who do not live in the floodplain or the floodway, nor have participated in the National Flood Insurance Program, may not have received, probably did not receive this letter, and the rest of the residents in Wheeling may also be unaware of it. One of the requirements, it was addressed to the homeowner, and it referred to the Village of Wheeling's participation in the community rating system that is regarding flood insurance. One of the requirements of the CRS is the notification to property owners that their home is located in a repetitive loss area. I received the letter, the notice, as well as 3 pages of detailed information, including where I could review the maps which identify special flood hazard zones, a long list of things I could do to protect myself and my neighborhood from flood damage, such as collect and put cleaning supplies, a camera, waterproof boots in a handy place, get a copy of the Red Cross titled Repairing Your Flooded Home, get insurance, and other suggestions that were all very helpful, although after the fact. I'm fully aware of my situation regarding flooding and have many years of experience on the subject, but I know that others may not have that, and this was very helpful to have this information out there. I think communication is so important, and this was a case of a group of people that needed to know the information that was there. I appreciate the efforts that you all made in sending this letter. I must admit I would feel more confident in your concern for the residents threatened or impacted by flooding if you would show the same interest in preventive measures. There are certainly enough examples of good management practices in stormwater management. And these practices are available, and there are regulations and guidelines that can be followed. You have great village staff that is capable of addressing these problems in advance of the flooding. And one of the simplest but most effective things that we can do to prevent additional flooding is to stop building in the floodplain or the floodway. And that is out there. I'm sure there are many surrounding areas that have good examples for us to follow. I'm looking forward to the discussion of item 13C on tonight's agenda. That's stormwater management credit distribution policy. I don't have any comment on that because I was unable to access the materials accompanying that. But I wanted you to know that I am sincere in thanking you all for that. It's that kind of communication that is meaningful to maybe very few, but it's appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
No, that's all,
Thank you.
Mr. President.
Staff reports, there are none. Consent agenda.
All items listed on the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the village board and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a board member or citizen so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered after all other agenda items. 11A is an ordinance authorizing the sale by public auction of surplus property owned by the Village of Wheeling. 11B is resolution authorizing the village president to execute a grant agreement regarding congregate meals at the Wheeling Pavilion Senior Center.
Thank you. Any questions or concerns? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by trustee Vogel.
Second.
Second by trustee Brady. Roll call, please.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Hyde?
Yes.
President Juris?
Yes. 13A.
Resolution waiving competitive bids and authorizing the purchase of 22 Dell Latitude 14 rugged 5405 mobile data terminals at a cost not to exceed $85,650.18.
Thank you. Chief Benson.
Thank you, President Argyris. The Wheeling Police Department is requesting the replacement of 22 Dell Latitude in-car computers, which are, the current ones are approximately 5 years old. They've reached their life expectancy. They're outdated and out of warranty. We're also requesting that we waive competitive bids as the product is unique and compatible with our current system. The total amount of the purchase is $84,650.18, which is $3,889, excuse me, and 9 cents each. The funds are supported in a SURF fund.
Okay. Questions? Trustee Brady?
Just one. Chief, what do we do with the old ones? Do we clean them up and put them to use?
To the best of our ability. A lot of them, they're tired and they're slow, but the ones we can. When I say 5 years, there's been some that have been replaced. For the most part, they're all 5 years, but the ones that for various reasons were replaced through a warranty issue, we'll definitely try and recycle them, find an additional use for them. And if I also may point out, even though we're asking to waive competitive bids, we did get 3 quotes, and the Dell quote is $7,000 less than the next closest bid quote amount.
Yeah. When I say put them to use, I mean, how about somebody out there that has a way that they can, use them to help people get along that can't afford a computer or something of the sort?
We'll try and find a good use for them, the ones that we can.
Motion to approve.
Motion made by Trustee Brady, second.
Second.
By Trustee Kruger. Roll call.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
President Argyros?
Yes. 13B.
13B, resolution rejecting all bids received for the 2015 Cisco Unified Communication Upgrade Project.
Thank you. Managers Fundos.
Thank you. Recently, the village put a bid out on the street to replace its Cisco system. During the bid period, we were made aware that the unified communications platform, which is the basis from which the system functions, is being updated and therefore nullifies our bid documents, our bid specs, and the only legal way for us to rescind the bid and start over is for you to reject all bids so that we can begin the process again. So this is a technicality in order to modernize the bid requirements that were changed during the process.
Thank you. Any questions?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Trustee Lang, second by Trustee Vogel. Roll call.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
President Argyros?
Yes. 13C.
Discussion regarding stormwater management credit distribution policy.
Thank you. Director Jennings.
Thank you. I'm sure the board is aware that the village participated in the flood control project known as Levy 37 several years ago. As a result of the agreement with the Park District and MWRD that led to that project, the village was allocated 36 acres of compensatory storage and 10 acres of stormwater detention in Heritage Park. The village has the ability and the authority to distribute those credits as it sees fit. The village staff recognized that we needed to come up with a system for fairly distributing those credits. So that's the impetus for what you see in front of you today, which is a draft policy document. Our intention is to take whatever comments you have on this policy document tonight and then come back for a formal vote at the last meeting in October on the 26th. Without going through the whole memo, the document describes some of the background information of how it is that we came to have the credits that were allocated to the village. It establishes a procedure for determining the value of the credits, establishes a minimum reimbursement for each type of credit. The stormwater credits are valued differently than the flood compensatory storage credits. We came up with following the reimbursement of any type of distribution of credit, the money that the village collects would then go to our stormwater management fund. So we wanted to be clear about how the value is established and then where the money goes once it's collected. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Questions?
Trustee Vogel? 36 and 10, didn't we just allocate part of that for the development across the street? So are we still at 3610 after that, or?
We are not at 3610. Luca, if you have the slide, I can show where we are now. Well, I can't really see it, but we're not at 3610. The table on the bottom left corner there is the, Luke, if you go to the next one, I think it's easier to see on the second slide. Thanks.
There you go.
We are at approximately, between the two comp storage basins, we are at 32.4 roughly. Now that includes two projects that have received their credits. That's the Northgate Crossing development on Northgate, as well as the Whitley across the street here. The pending item that you see at the bottom there is an agreement that we're working on with IDOT to compensate for the fill that was needed for the replacement of the bridge on Dundee Road over here. Then under the stormwater detention, we have a pending amendment to the Whitley agreement to account for the detention that's necessary for that project.
But based on that, what does 36 acres per feet mean to us? Could you develop a 100-acre development site based on that, or what's it based on though?
It's the 36 acre feet that we have is the total volume within the basins. So it can facilitate a corresponding amount of fill. The requirement's typically 1.5 to 1. So if you fill in the floodplain, you compensate for it in those basins. And the purpose of this would be to do that off-site, whereas typically a project would have to provide that compensatory storage on-site. This would be off-site in a regional basin.
Okay, thank you.
Trustee Brady?
Excuse me. I don't know if this can be answered tonight, but, we just finished up our stormwater management program and implemented it. And, I'm wondering, I'm thinking here, now we're taking this, and this is for our central TIF area here, if anybody needs storage, we have it for them. And I'm wondering, as we implement our program for the next 15 or 20 years, and we're solving some of these flooding areas that we have around the village, let's say Dunhurst. Once we get Dunhurst to a point where it doesn't flood as bad, or maybe if everything works out right where it doesn't flood at all, what do we have to do where's that water going to go? We have to store it someplace, don't we? Do we need another project like this, or should we save some of this for that?
The acre feet that are available in Heritage Park are only for this particular watershed. So I don't know exactly, I know Dunhurst does flow into this watershed, but the idea would be getting floodwaters that are runoff into sewers as opposed to storage. Storage, and Andrew, correct me where I go off base here, this is about compensating for currently pervious land that is developed as impervious. So you are making up what is currently getting soaked into the ground by relocating it into these basins. So for existing property, it's more a matter of managing floodwaters into sewer systems than it is diverting it into storage basins.
I think
essentially.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Dunhurst does drain in because
It does.
The proposed one of the proposed fixes was to drain it into the lake over here, and from there it would continue on to the river, and that would be in the area of these ponds that we developed. And I don't know, I think we should be a little bit prudent and just put a little bit in the bank just in case, because it'd be horrible to have the money to correct some of these problems and then not have a spot to put the water.
As far as storage goes, we certainly can do that. This program simply puts a dollar amount, it puts a value to the asset that we own,
Oh, yeah.
but that doesn't mean that that asset couldn't be used for our own projects. This is just creating equity among private development so that what we give to one, we fairly give to another, and by give, I mean sell.
No, I understand it, and I'm all for it, because there's some very, very good quality projects that can be built in and benefit all of us for the lack of storing some water. So, all right, just something to keep in the back of our heads as we go on in the future with this stormwater fight that we've got on our hands next years. Thank you.
Anybody else? Trustee Lang?
Just a quick question on getting some of this water to the basins. What kind of storm sewer pipe are we looking at? And how does that all work out for, especially like you look at the Kmart property, for instance? And
So if you look at location C, that's Heritage Lake. So that's where we have stormwater detention. That is required to be physically connected to the lake. Part of the stormwater credit value is derived from the cost of installing the additional pipe segment that's needed to go from Heritage Lake up to Dundee Road. Then as you spread out from that north-south connection, you would have to connect east-west, and that project cost would be project by project, property by property. So the Village of Wheeling is looking to use this to fund the cost of the pipe extension up to the north side of Dundee Road.
Got it.
Anything else?
That's it.
Anybody else? No? I think you got your direction, John. And again, you know what? As we've been doing here for the last couple, 2-3 years, you know what? We've been really proactive regarding stormwater and looking at every opportunity to do things to manage it versus not managing it. And I'll be honest with you, I'm proud of it. And I brought ideas back from the Lake County Stormwater Commission that I sit on, that I share with the Public Works Director and the engineer and Jeff Wolfgram, and ideas and new programs that are out there right now and restrictions from FEMA to make things a lot better than what we've been doing. So I think we've been proactive on that. We continue to be proactive on that. With the Stormwater Utility Program, we want to be even more proactive with that and have the opportunity where we're actually watching where the waters are going and giving it a home to go to. And I think we're doing that on some of the new development here. We've created probably more stormwater retention, comp storage than we had in many years in this community in the last couple of years, thanks to Mark and Andrew, and along with John Tack, who are consistently going to seminars, programs that are from MWRD, from Illinois Department of Natural Resources, from Lake County, from Cook County, with all the agencies that are helping us. And I truly believe by us reaching out and building those relationships with these agencies, it's helped us, because they've actually given us the tools and the know-how and what we need to do here for this community. So, and again, to answer Trustee Brady's question, Heritage Park is a different park today from when they built Dunhurst. Today, it's a bigger park. It has huge storage over there now. And you're right, you know, and that's why when we were given the opportunity to have this acre feet to do something, we needed to take it seriously, because that is an asset for the entire village, not for a TIF district. And we made that very clear to staff about a year and a half ago. So it's an asset of ours that we need to be careful in what we do with, and give the opportunity for some economic development along the Dundee Road corridor, but also to see how it helps the areas that are in dire need of help. And I think with the new programs that we have in place that are going to be in place next year, there'll be some opportunities to do that as well. Trustee Lang? I'm sorry.
You know, question about Heritage Lake. Is there, back there last week, noticed it's pretty much grown over. It looks like there's a lot of, it doesn't look like it's all that deep. Is there a way to dredge that out more and possibly get more use out of it?
The lake was modified during the MWRD project. They did dig it out to some degree. I don't know exactly how much volume. Maybe somebody, I don't know if you know the exact number, but it was modified. I suppose they could dredge it. I think that that's something we can talk to them about, but it was modified during the construction project over the last few years.
It just, in looking at it very closely, there was an event back there, the Beer and Broad, and you got to see it all day long, and it was, it looked like there was a lot of overgrowth in that lake, and I'm wondering if it's probably that way because it's fairly shallow, and or at least it appears to be. I don't know.
It is fairly shallow, and Andrew's correct. There was some dredging that was done, not the entire lake, but the level of the lake, as you saw last weekend, is the normal water level. It's kept that way, and when a storm is coming, then we pump it down. But the level that you see right now is about the normal water level.
And just on dredging alone, is dredging pretty expensive? And
extremely expensive. In that particular water body, some people who have been here a long time, perhaps Mr. Spratt in the back there, there was a large Caterpillar machine that was almost lost in that pond because there's so much peat in that area to try to dig it out is almost impossible, because to get to the area, you have to dig out so much to get any kind of stabilization over there. So the half of the lake that is to the west, there's an extremely large amount of peat over in that area, almost impossible to dredge because you sink.
Thank you.
Trustee Brady?
If I'm not mistaken, back several years ago, that park was overrun with geese. You couldn't even walk down the path without skating down the path. But I've read several articles about it, and I've seen some practice done where they say, leave the grass long along the edge of the lake. Don't cut it. Leave it wild, because geese don't like to swim and stay where they can't see. And the geese will not go in the water if they can't see if there's a fox or a coyote hiding in the weeds. They won't go there, and I think that's what this is all about, geese management.
But I got to tell you, though, the thing that was disappointing when we were out there, and the residents and people that did attend that event that were also disappointed, the beautification of the Heritage Park is beautiful, and it's nice. The condition of that pond with all the algae and everything floating on it and the way it smells, I've never seen it like that. I mean, you go to Lake Arlington, you don't see that. And, you know, there was a lot of times at the Heritage Lake wasn't like that. I mean, literally, probably 70% of that pond is covered with green stuff. Why? Maybe you can reach out, I don't know, maybe with the Park District, check with MWRD, the Army Corps, how do we make this clean? They got a boat launch over there. You couldn't put a boat in that lake. No way.
The amount of bugs, too.
Huh? Because of the bugs, the mosquitoes and that, because they're eating off the algae and all this green stuff. I would advise you guys to take a walk back there and really look at that lake. It's horrendous. And it's a shame because, you know, with everything brand new at that park, which is such a great asset for this community, to go take a walk around the lake, it stinks. And the bugs and the way it looks was, a lot of people were disappointed the other day. Trustee Hein?
Unfortunately, when we were over there Sunday, it shows a lot of lily pads and so on and so forth. But that's all natural growth, and the odor that you have is not coming from those plants.
No.
Because they don't give off an odor. The odor is coming from Evangers. And if you got a west to east wind coming from there, it's definitely Evangers. No question about that.
No doubt. But again, the stuff's in the water. Look at that. Okay? Anybody else? John, you got your direction on that?
Yes, thank you. We'll put it on the agenda for the 26th.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay, official communication. Trustee Hein.
Just a note on the last weekend, the Wheeling Historical Society's Beer and Bratwurst over there. I'd just like to take the opportunity to thank the volunteers that participated in it. It was a nice, successful event. Residents came out for it. A lot of nostalgia was talked about that day about the past Beer and Bratwurst. And the weather was good. We lucked out extremely well. And I'm sure everybody had a good time. We got a lot of feedback from the residents and also a lot of emails and a lot of comments on our website. So all in all, it was very good, and I'd like to thank the sponsors that participated in it and made the event very successful. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Trustee Brady.
Well, yeah, I want to thank the Historical Society also. That was a lot of fun. We go Sunday. But let's not forget the Park District, you know. They're the ones that are giving us the facilities. We can have these types of festivals in the future, and it's a beautiful park, and I tell you, it was a lot of fun. The smell was coming from the bratwurst because they smell so good. That's what I smelled. One question, where are our street lights? September was over and they're still not up.
Mark? Our street lights. Where are they at?
Streetlights they're on order. We're waiting.
They were supposed to be installed by now.
No, I think they were going to be installed late October, early November.
No, September.
No.
Do you have any sight of them? Are they saying anything?
All we know is that they've ordered them, and we're waiting. They're waiting, we're waiting.
Unbelievable. I tell you, no wonder the government never gets anything done. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Kruger.
Thank you. To Mrs. Schultz's comments today, John, perhaps you could answer this question. It sounded to me like the letter that some residents received regarding the CRS system, rating system, it didn't go out or didn't go to anyone. I'm wondering, since we have a web page on our site for flooding community rating system, if that letter couldn't be posted?
Sure.
For people to have an avenue to see it, read it, know about it? And thank you. And I too had blast at the Beer and Brat, and I was making pretzels like a machine, and had a great time. So thank you for that. And that's it for me. Thanks.
Thank you. Trustee Vogel?
Two things quick, and George Heber asked that I thank the community and the village for their support for the recent blood drive he ran over at St. Joe's. I believe he got 32 participants that were good and 6 rejects, so he was very happy on that. And then just a reminder, at our last meeting, President Argyris announced a community breakfast that's taking place November 7th from 8 a.m. until 10:30 a.m. here at Fire Station 42. And everybody's invited.
Please come. Be fun. Thanks. Trustee Vito?
Yeah, I'll speak up for Lake Heritage. Yeah, there's some green stuff in it, but it's a nice place to go to. If you go to Lake Arlington, I suggest you go to Lake Heritage because you can take your bike around and jog and not have to weave in and out of people, and it's not crazy. It's a real nice facility there, but yeah, there is some green stuff there, but it's a
great facility.
The whole park is beautiful.
It is.
But yeah, I don't know what that stuff is.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay. Trustee Lang?
Thank you. Well, I don't know how to say it in Korean, but I wish the entourage going to Korea the best of luck and bring back some very good business contacts. I know that's your agenda and that's what you're looking to do. But it's a very exciting trip, and just good luck and do well.
Thank you. Clerk Simpson.
First, I would like to tell the residents that this coming Wednesday, October 7th, the Crime Watch meeting will be held at the police station, and it starts at 7 o'clock. So they would like, if anybody is interested, show up at the police station this coming Wednesday at 7 o'clock. It's the Crime Watch meetings. It's the first Wednesday of every month. And then we have the Hawaiian Luau, sponsored by the Wheeling Citizens Police Academy alumni, which will be held on October 24th. The doors open at 5:30, dinner at 6:30, the show at 8. Ticket prices are, individuals are $30, children 6 to 10 are 10, children under 5 are free. It'll be held at the St. Joseph Workers Social Hall at 185 West Dundee. And there will be the, I can't say that, Hukuli Academy of Polynesian Arts Dancers. I've been to the last 2 shows of theirs, and they were really very good. You can get your tickets by calling, it's Debbie at 847-322-2195.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Manager's Fundalos.
I have nothing this evening, thank you.
Okay. A couple things. I wish Sherry was here this evening. The other day was her 8-year anniversary. So on behalf of the board, congratulations to Sherry. We are from the senior department. A couple things. You know, since the last time we met, there was a horrific fire at Arlington Club, which all of you know. And thanks to the chief, I ended up getting a walkthrough and an eye-opener going through a 4-unit condominium that was totally destroyed, that 4 families lived in. Thanks for the efforts of our fire department and probably neighboring 10 or 12 other fire departments, they were able to save 4 additional units. But I'll tell you something. To sit there and go into one family's home and to see little shoes and little toys, because there were a couple little kids there, and an elderly couple who were outside literally crying for their glasses and their medication, to see their home destroyed. And all because there was an individual at that place that wanted to have a home business. How ironic, after the week before, a couple days prior to that, we're talking about home businesses. And I think that this board and our staff really needs to look hard at this, and the public needs to open their mouths to protect their neighbors, because this has been going on for a long time. Because of their carelessness, their negligence, there are 4 families out there without homes. And there were 4 other families, I don't know if they're back in yet, but I know they were displaced as well. We had a fireman who ended up being okay, was hurt, and many more could have gotten hurt, along with our police department and everything else. But this is a good example. You know, nobody up here wants to pick on home businesses and do what, but you know, I know something, when you start having things that are flammable and things in garages that are attached to other residents, we really need to look hard. Because John and I walked through that thing, I was sick, literally sick, because of somebody's negligence and greed. So I think we really need to look at that, and I know the chief is getting some things together that he wants to share with us. But here's a good example. And you know what, and for the Plan Commission and for developers out there, when our fire department says, you know what, you need to go a half an inch more here or 6 inches more there, and this is the type of material you really need, versus a complex that was built back in the 80s, and to see the quality of construction today versus then, it was literally like taking your lighter and lighting up a piece of paper, how this just spread throughout. So something to think about. And thank God nobody was hurt. Thank God it happened at 7:30 at night, not at 1 o'clock in the morning when people are asleep. But what a scary thing. What a scary thing. And I think we really need to step up, and we can't do it all. But I'll tell you something, residents need to open their mouths. If they know something's wrong going on, you know what? 459 code, it's anonymous. Leave an address, say it. Because you know what, it could be your life. Anyway, we are leaving Sunday, and I will share with the board a 5-page itinerary that has changed already to add another at least a dozen things to it. So by all means, this is not going to be a fun trip. It's going to be a running trip with with our friends over there. But I want the residents, if they have any problems, feel free to call Trustee Brady, who will be President Pro Tem in handling the ship. So feel free to call him 24/7 like you could do me, and he'll be there to help you, and along with our staff too. So I thank everybody for helping out with that. There's some meetings I know staff will be attending that I can't attend or John can't attend, where I appreciate that, so does John, and we're going to move forward with that. That's all I have, and we'll see you on the 26th at our next meeting. I'll entertain a motion to approve the bills for September 17th through the 30th, 2015.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Krueger, second by Trustee Vogel. Roll call, please.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
President Harjuris?
Yes. We do have executive session this evening for pending, probable, and/or imminent litigation. Entertain a motion to go into exec.
So moved.
Motion by Trustee Krueger,
Second.
second by Trustee Vito. Roll call, please.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
President Harjuris?
Yes. We'll go into executive session at 7:30. Good night, everyone. Thank you.